from 5:01 in the evening to 8:59 in the morning, that's your time. So I think of that's liberating, right? I mean, while you have a little bit of time, you have to commit to somebody else. You really have more time, much more time that's devoted to you being able to reach the level that you want to reach in your own life. So I think the first thing to think about is what's your perspective. If you're hoping to escape the rat race in 12 months, right? If you hope to, you won't. If you work to do it, you will, right? I think that's the first key thing to think about. This is not hopes and dreams and wishes. You don't accept your own path because you hope for something. You first have to have the mindset that says, I'm going to have obstacles. I am going to have problems, and I'm building a solution regardless of the obstacles in my way, allow me to achieve success. That's number one. So here, and you're thinking, what's the first thing I should do? And you often have people ask me, this is the first question, what's one thing I should do? Sit by yourself in a quiet room with a pen and pad, right? Sit in a room, with a pencil and paper and write a little note to yourself, right? Write a little note to yourself about what you really want to achieve. Do you want to make money, or do you want to make money so that you can go on a vacation? Some people say, I need to make money before I can have kids because I need to make sure they're well supported. Some people say, I need to make money before I can get married. Some people say, I need to make money so I can take care of my family. What's your real reason for doing this? It's important before you get started to make sure that's really clear.
Cool. I agree. I'm
tossing back to you.
Yeah, no, I had written in my pad, my notes here, that it's deciding exactly what you want in life. That's got to be there first and foremost, because it's all good having the big ideas, but you've got to have that ultimate burning desire, I think, that really pulls you out of bed every morning, that you've got that focus on the end goal, what it is that you really want.
Yeah. So let me add something. Let me add something to this. I'm giving you props. I'm giving you lots of props because that was great. So, speaking from the stage, how do you stay motivated? Right? And I tell this to people all the time. If your house is on fire, do you need to be motivated? Right? If someone's punching you in the face, do you need to be motivated to run away or hit back? So when urgency is important enough, when urgency is big enough, when you have enough on the line, then you'll be motivated. You'll be motivated. The problem is most of us don't put ourselves in a situation where we're committed to achieving what we say we want to achieve.
True.
Okay, next question. I see it says audio only for you. I'm assuming it says something like that for me as well.
I can hear you loud and clear, but I can't see you at the moment, Dan. But that's cool.
Well,
you're coming through.
I put on my best shirt, and I'm kind of upset that you're not able to see it.
Oh, you were looking
Laura,
good.
Laura can see us both, so that's good. Thanks, Laura. You'd help my self-esteem. I didn't shave, no shaving, but I did put on a fresh shirt. So.
Yeah, cool. So Dan, you're obviously going into big companies on a daily basis, and you're seeing people who perhaps are quite happy maintaining a job. They just want to work their way up the ranks and be more successful within their company. So, there may be some people whereby escaping a rat race actually doesn't mean leaving their job. Perhaps they actually really enjoy their job, but they would just like to increase the income so that they can do more enjoyable things with that.
Yeah, so that's the number. Can I shout at you for 1 minute? This is the number one stupid thing I hear from people. People will say, "Oh man, quit your job." Right, quit your job and jump full swing into something you don't even know what it is.
That's what I did.
Jump. That's just yeah. So that works for sometimes some people, and I feel like there's a unique situation for that. Depends upon. I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids. Right? Is that something that Is that something that I would go and do? Maybe. I'm not crazy, but do I recommend it to other people? Not necessarily. You don't need to, because with the internet and technology, technology. I mean, look, we on our phone, we've got phones, right? We've got computers and we've got tablets, and we can do business from just about anywhere from that 5:01 p.m. to 8:59 in the morning. That's your time. Listen, on the bus, riding to the office, when you're on the train, riding to the office, however you're commuting back and forth, that's your time to use. You don't need to jump yet. You might take a month and put together a plan and then jump. But it's silly to say, oh, I'm going to jump now and I hope I make it. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay, let me tell you one quick point here. Have you ever met, and this is dating, you're the boyfriend who's too needy. You know what I mean? Too needy. Where are you? What's happening? Where are you going? No woman in the world loves a needy guy. They may tolerate it depending on how much money you have, but they don't like it. And so, if you put yourself in a situation where you're needy, and I see a lot of people on the web doing this, oh, buy my book, do this thing, buy my product, get my course, do all this stuff. And it's really needy. It's really kind of selfish. It's a little misguided, but they have to do that because they haven't set up the platform, right? They haven't, they've jumped. And they're doing all of this stuff. They haven't done enough of the right stuff, and so they come off needy and gimmicky and a little bit schmarmy. And frankly, those are the people at the club or the restaurant that I just want to avoid. Right? I want to stay away. They're just a little schmarmy. And so if you haven't set yourself up right, you come off of that. Now, for everyone listening, let me give you one thing. Now I've got lots of tattoos. A lot of times people don't see them. This is actually a cool one. So, oh wait, let me show you this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Yeah, it looks pretty detailed there.
Yep, it's a ship. It's a ship,
wow.
And on it, it's on fire, and it says "Burn the ships." So when Hernando Cortez came to South America, he, thank Music Soul Child, appreciate it. It's sick design. It took 6 hours in the chair, but when Hernando Cortez came to the United States, was afraid, or South America was afraid that his soldiers would turn back, and he told his team, burn the ships. Basically, the only way you're going to get home is to go conquer the Aztecs. And once we're through the other side and hit the water, then we'll build new ships. So they basically burn the ships, okay? So I've done a little bit what you've done, Christian, which is like when we get to the edge of the shore, we're burning the ships. That's all we have. So but earlier point I would say this is if you do one thing, right? If you do one thing, and do one thing right. And I agree with you so much, Daisy. Even if you work 9 to 5, you have more time to create the life you want. Yes. Stop watching so much goddamn TV, right? Okay, back to my other thing. So if you do one thing well with your business, escaping the rat race, let me tell you what it is right here. Write it down, engrave it on your body, whatever you have to do, put it write it on a dollar bill and tape it to your mirror. Okay, this one thing. Remember this. Play the long game. Play the long game. I see so many people that destroy themselves, destroy their businesses, destroy their future by doing gimmicky, short-term, selfish, myopic business strategies. Forcing people to buy things that are bullshit, over-promising, under-delivering, right? And the problem is you might win right now. But for the rest of your life, you're going to lose. And if I could tell you to believe in yourself enough to say, do it right every time. Let me tell you something. You go to any property that I own or run, danwaldschmidt.com, edgyconversations.com, edgy quotes, edgy audit, all that stuff. You will see one thing. They are beautiful. They are beautiful. Why? Because we spend thousands and thousands of dollars a year to make things look awesome so that when people come, it feels like they're well put together. Now, listen, I'm not saying you have to go spend, lots and lots of money to go do craziness. What I am saying is think about what you're doing and think about the long-term goal that you want for yourself and don't shortcut it, because ultimately there is no shortcut to success. You're going to have to work hard, right? And so don't hurt yourself in the future because you're taking shortcuts now. It's a big mistake. Yeah. A lot of people make it. Lock yourself in a room, write it on your mirror, tattoo it on your behind. Whatever you have to do, play the long game. Seriously, play the long game. I see people's profiles or pictures in the top of my screen here. A lot of you look very young, right? I'm 36 years old. I'm guessing many of you are my age or younger, maybe slightly older. I don't know. Maybe. So listen, we've got a lot of time to make a lot of money and do a lot of cool shit. We do. All of us. Yeah. We have a big life ahead of us, provided I don't get hit by a bus later, right? We have a long future. Don't shortchange that future because you decide you want to take advantage of people right now, right?
You've hit the nail on the head there. You really have, Dan. And
someone says my goal is to be homeless. And what that means? That's awesome. That's a pretty easy goal, right?
Yeah, maybe they'll expand on that in a bit. It leads on quite nicely, Dan, then to the you always hear about you've got to offer value. And I think what you're saying there is to build the foundations and not just go out looking for the quick bucks immediately because it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to be sustainable. And frankly, what happens is that for every dollar you earn, you probably lose $2 or $3. Let me tell you something I learned in some of you know that I'm a champion ultra runner. My last 100-mile race, I finished in 17 hours and 8 minutes. I arrived at the finish line 24 miles ahead of second place. Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this race is that mindset matters, right? Like you were just saying, Christian, right? I mean, what you think about matters. And listen, and frankly, the one thing I learned from my coach was this: for every minute per mile you run faster than you should at the beginning of the race, you're going to run 2 to 3 miles slower at the end of the race, which means, let's say I've halfway through my race, for the first 50 miles, I run a 10-minute mile pace. And I should be running an 11-minute mile pace, which means it's not that I'm going to slow down 1 mile per hour later. It's the fact that I'm going to slow down 2 or 3 times that amount later. And so what does that mean? It means play the long game, right? You got 100 miles to run. Play the long game. So you're sprinting and prancing around like you have it all together at mile 22. Who cares? You're not even a quarter of the way through it, right? You're not even a quarter of the way through it. So what you think about, you become. Almost every religion, I went to seminary, almost every religion makes some connotation. Of course, in the Bible, there's a passage of scripture that says, as a man thinks, so he becomes, right? Whatever religion you are, Protestant, Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, in every religion, there is some sort of edict that says what you think about, you become. And so I think that's where most of us fall down is we don't think enough about who we want to become. And so we become what we think about, which is nothing, right? We're not thinking about awesome, so we don't become awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really planning and sitting down at the beginning before you even start the journey, and going back to what you were saying about the race there, you need to know your numbers, you need to know if you're on track, and you need to have milestones to know if you're winning or losing, to keep you in pace.
That's right. Accountability. You know what? Have a goal, have a plan, and then work to achieve it. Right?
What's some of the common habits of the successful people that you work with? Do they have something that they do every morning, every day? Is there something that is a small change that people can make immediately that will show a difference?
Well, let me give you 4 qualities if I have time. Is that okay? Can I do that? Is that too much?
Go for it. No, go for it.
So I spent 4 years looking at high performers. Okay. So I would consider myself to be a high performer. At a very early age, I had made millions and millions of dollars. Wall Street Journal here in the United States calls me one of the top business strategists in the world. And I think I'm probably 25 years younger than the next person on that list. So I think that's pretty cool. It also shows you, all of you listening, it doesn't matter if you're 55 or 65 or 75. You can be pretty awesome even at a young age. I wanted to learn what makes amazing people tick. if you don't have a silver spoon, if you're not, if you weren't born rich, how can you still overcome and achieve success? When I looked at 4 key qualities, here's what they were. Number 1, extreme behavior. Okay. And what that means is being willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. Extreme, right? Extreme.
Sure.
And that can mean a lot of different things, right? That can mean a lot. You're the guy working 4 jobs to make it all. It can mean you're the guy who has the business picking up dog turds in the park. Both of those are pretty extreme and crazy, right? So, I mean, but it's extreme behavior. We saw American football players who had one leg. We saw scientists who were born blind. I mean, just amazing people. And what separated was that they were willing to do what other people weren't willing to do. So if you see things that other people aren't willing to do, those are things that you should be doing. Now, let me also say this to you. If there are things you're not willing to do in your own life, those are the things that are probably stopping you from getting to where you want to be. Right now, if you find yourself saying, I would do that effort, but whatever that but is probably the reason why you're not more successful. It's probably the reason why you're not making. You might say, well, I have to take the kids to school, or I have to do this, or I have to pay the mortgage, or I have to do all these things. Whatever that thing is that stops you from that sort of doing, we call those things the hard things, right? The difficult things. That's probably that's that extreme thing you have to start doing. The second thing is disciplined activity. Just put it right inside the notes right there. Disciplined activity. What does that mean? Most of us are not as disciplined as we think we are. We say we are, but how many times do you not follow up and follow through on something you've promised, or on some venture that you were going to do, or some promise you've made, and you just don't do it, right? And you say you're going to do it, but you don't do it. And you might go, I'm really busy. That's not an excuse. Okay, we're all busy, right? I run 4 companies, 14 countries, doing work in 30 different verticals. I understand what busy's like, right? But for instance, using tools, let me throw something in here. I love Todoist for productivity. It's free to use, or you pay a few dollars a month and get their premium version, $3 or $4 a month to get their premium version. But setting yourself up a reminder. I have reminders every day. Do this every day. Do this every day. And when I get it done, I check the box and I'm done. And guess what? I put it it's on my iPhone, right? It's on my iPhone, so that I remember. No matter if I think of something when we're talking, boom, 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 I write it down and I remember to do it with me. Why? I don't want to lose because I was too stupid to remember, right? Or to not remember. Too stupid to not remember. I don't want to lose because I forgot to do something. That's a stupid loss. Yeah. It doesn't mean that guy was smarter than you. It doesn't mean that guy had a better strategy than you. It means you dropped the ball. And so I have to be honest with you. A lot of the companies, a lot of the senior leaders that I work with, a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs aren't losing because somebody else is smarter than them. They're losing because they're not following up, following through, staying scheduled, being on a plan, and just getting shit done on a regular basis. And so they're losing stupidly. They're not losing smart, right? They're losing dumb. So don't be that person. Find a tool, find a process to capture, record what needs to be done. And then, one thing I did early on, let me encourage all of you listening. I see there's a bunch of people here joining us. So hi to everyone who's joining us all the time. Is don't go to bed until you have everything done. So productivity is a habit. For the first 21 or 30 days, you're going to struggle because you're going to add a lot to your plate. You're not going to get it done. You're going to stay up. But let me challenge you. Commit to this. I will not sleep until I get everything on my list done. And what you'll find is when you leave that 21 or 30-day period, you will be a productivity maniac. You're getting more done than you've ever imagined, and it'll be a habit hopefully you maintain for the rest of your life. So extreme behavior, giving a disciplined activity, extreme behavior, and then giving more value than people pay for. This is a big deal. People think, they'll say this, oh, download my free white paper. That's not giving. That's bullshit. Sorry, Christian. Do you have white papers? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we get it.
A report is not giving. A report is cool. Don't get me wrong. I pay money for reports. I pay money for PDFs. I do. I'm being somewhat sacrilegious here because I'm the edgy guy. But I would say this: give more value than people pay for. Give more value, right? Don't just say, "Hey, you paid for this," and so I'm hopeful that you're happy. Give more value. If you run a small store, if you have a hobby, if you have a small establishment, make people feel loved. And I have to tell you, this idea of value and giving has less to do with price and discounts and a lot more to do with how you make people feel. So a lot of times people will get nasty emails because somebody misinterpreted them, or they'll be confused by something that's going on. And the response, your natural response back to them is like, don't you know I'm a small business owner and I'm trying to make my money and all you are is criticizing. Blah. And I guess, stop. You might be absolutely right, but you will lose the war acting that way. Let me go back to point number 11111, which was what? Play the long game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, give more value than people pay for. Think about what could you do where people feel like they're getting $200 worth of value, but you're charging them $100. Most people, when I go into a company, will say to me, how do I make more money? And my immediate answer is charge more. Charge more. Now, all of you listening here would say to me, you don't understand, Dan. I can't charge more. Why? People won't pay more. How do you know? Have you done it before? So we go round and round and round playing this game of nouns and verbs, right? Will they pay more or not? Here's what I say to them. Here's what you do. What you used to charge $1 for and deliver $1 for, now you charge $2 for. But instead of delivering $2, you deliver $3. So you take $1 and turn it into $2 and give them $3. And what people do is they don't just willingly pay you more for your money. You know what? They're grateful. They're grateful. They feel like they got a good. The big mistake people do is they'll charge $3 and give $2 worth of value. Or they'll charge $2 and give $2 worth of value. And if you're charging $2 and asking $2, what? You're not really doing anything that's memorable or magical for people. Give more value. Go ahead, Christian. I think you were jumping.
I just wanted to interject because what you're explaining there just makes me think back to, a great quote that Jim Rohn always said is that you don't get paid for time, you get paid for the value you put into that time. And just really it just made me think of that.
Let me also throw out another point to you guys. Give first. Give first. You know what I mean by that? So it's easy when someone calls you out to give. But it's not really the same if you give after, right? It's not really the same if you give value once someone's called you out or once there's a problem or once someone comes to you with a concern. That's more like making up for it, right? So think about giving first. You've got one shot to deliver extraordinary value, to deliver an extraordinary perception of awesomeness. And so use that opportunity right up front to give. And I'll tell you what, you will never be a company that wants for customer, that lacks for revenue if you master this art of giving. Remember, play the long game. Give as much as you can away. Give lots and lots and lots of value. And I'll tell you what, exactly like you said, Daisy, be extraordinary, right? People always come back. So edgy, extreme behavior, disciplined activity, giving attitude. First attitude we saw was this idea of having a human strategy. You might call this being emotionally intelligent. Okay. Have you guys heard of this before?
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And essentially this is really a discussion not about what you do, but how you do it. Right? Thanks, Janet, for the props there. I would call out everyone, but they just pop up so quickly in my screen here. I can't always.
Yeah.
But it's not what, it's how. And one of the problems I see people failing when they try to start their own business, go out on their own, is they abandon the how and they just say what they're doing. And people don't pay for what you do. They pay for how you do what you do. Can I repeat that again? People don't pay you for what you do. They pay you for how you do what you do. So think about the how. One of the first few businesses that I was a part of, I was able to grow from 2 million to 20 million in a few years. And we sold, pieces of machinery. And I got to tell you, well, the same crap as everybody else. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Shh. It's a secret. But you know why people paid us more? We charged 2 to 3 times what our competitors paid. We paid more because, I'll tell you why, because what we did made people feel special. Thank you for the love. Thank you. Because we made people feel special, just like Jennifer made me feel special with her props there. What happened was people said, I'm willing to pay you more money. I'm willing to give you more because you make me feel so amazing that I think you're the company for me. And we went from 2 million to 20 million. Impossible. It was almost impossible. And the only way we were able to do it was because of how we did what we did. So I would challenge you. Exactly, kind of like Zappos. Exactly. It's not so much that you're selling shoes. It's the fact that you're delivering extraordinary customer service. It's the fact that you're sending overnight service when someone pays for one or 2 or 3 day delivery. Exactly like that. Anybody can do what you're doing. Doesn't matter what you do. There's always somebody who's smarter than you, who has more money than you, and knows your industry better than you do. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And look, let me also say this. It's your fault, and your fault alone, if people don't feel loved. If your community and prospects and buyers don't feel like you care about them, don't come and tell me, oh, but I do really care. Don't come and tell me, they don't understand me. They don't need to understand you. You need to understand them. And so this how part is crippling. This is really crippling, and a lot of people fail because they've not figured out how to master the how. And so they're really smart with really good how-tos and information and blurbs and nuggets and giveaways and all of this cool, fun stuff. But because their how sucks, right? They don't have the how figured out. No one wants to be around them.
I think that it sounds like that comes back to that long-term game. It's a two-way conversation with your customers.
Absolutely.
It's not about rushing in. It's about asking them for feedback and seeing what you can do better, what they're happy with, what they're not happy with. And I know there's a lot of small business owners here. There's some people who are just starting up some online businesses and just getting their first few customers. And everyone always wants more customers. But I've heard many times that, your best customers are the ones that you've already got. And if you treat them well, they'll keep on coming back round and you build a long-term relationship with them.
Yep. I look, I completely agree with you. I mean, the reality of being successful in business is that there are a number of things that you can do wrong and no one notices. I often tell people, if you knew how, miscombobulated we were on some days, you know what I mean? Then you would go, wow, how are they making so much money? And I got to tell you, that doesn't matter if people feel loved. And as our good friend, Miss Arizona Frog just said here, listen, I have to tell you, it's about time. It's about taking time to make people feel special. Right on, Jennifer. You have to take the time, and time is something we think we don't have. But I'll tell you this, like you just said, Christian, we'll spend a lot of time talking about lead generation. We'll talk about customer generation. We'll talk about how to get more demand, more traffic to our website. See, Laura here is starting an e-commerce site, so she wants traffic to her site. We'll spend a lot of time talking about how to write content that gets people coming to our sites and how to build momentum and how to leverage and funnels and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes the best way to build traffic and earn people's attention is just to spend a few minutes talking to them. So I write a very popular newsletter. Thousands and thousands of you get it at my website, and it's free, of course. There's no strings attached or anything like that. But for each person who gets my newsletter, I send a personal email to say, hey, I'll do a little research on you if I can find it. It might be a little creepy. Hopefully it's not creepy. Just like I want to get to know you better. Anybody who's nutty enough to want to hear what I have to say, I'd love to say hi to you. And I got to tell you, the part that's interesting is this. I get more people starting conversations with me. And I earn more business from people just saying, hey, is that really you? I'm used to an autoresponder. Is that really you? I'm used to an automated email blast. I can't believe it's actual person. Kind of what Jennifer was saying earlier about what Zappos does, that the simple thing of sending a personal email has probably made me $5 to $10 million over the last few years. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Just writing a simple email. Because I can't do that. Okay. You can't do that. You can't make an extra $5 million because you're too lazy or stupid, but we'll say lazy because I'm going to be nice, to take the time to say to someone, hey, I really appreciate that, right? It's kind of nutty where our priority. Thanks, Jamel, by the way. I love it. Appreciate all the love. So a lot of you like that last comment, obviously. I saw the props going out.
And at what point did you really grasp that idea, Dan? Is that something you've known from the beginning when you started your businesses, or something you've developed and you've seen with the people that you've been working with, how important that is?
Well, so I'll tell you where it came from. And I'm going to stand up, by the way. My butt's hurting me from sitting on this chair. Ouch. I have a standing desk. So I don't normally sit down. So yeah, surprise, surprise. The athlete has a standing desk. But get this camera here, right? So where I learned about writing the personal emails was frankly, this sounds really dumb. I signed up for other people's newsletters, trying to find little nuggets of awesomeness. And when I would email them back and just say, hey, cool, really thanks, blah, 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 whatever. It would be like crickets. Nothing. I have to, Christian, I know you're thinking like Dan's being emotional, or I have to say, I would go to Twitter and I would tweet them. Hey, someone, hey, at guru person. Oh, that was an awesome article you just wrote. You know what I heard back? Tweet. Nothing. And I thought, what a douchebag. Really? I don't know how that translates internationally, but what an awful person. Let me say it that way. What an awful person. Here this person talks about leadership. Here this person talks about customer service. Here this person talks about living a life that's committed to other people, right? These are very famous gurus. You might know who I'm talking about. And yet, when someone reaches out to them for a conversation, they don't even have the moral courage to respond. And I thought, I want to do it differently. It doesn't matter that I have nothing to sell. Anyone in this audience, I have nothing to sell you. There's nothing. You can't buy my consulting. You probably aren't going to pay $25,000 for me to come and do a keynote in where you are, right? This is not going to happen. So the reality is, I'm just saying hi so that if I can have a chance to help you be amazing, you're as amazing as you could be. No regrets for either of us.
Yeah, it's so funny, Dan, because I used to work in the music industry, and I managed a lot of the big DJs, international stars, and it's funny, they would turn up to these huge festivals and concerts. They'd stand there for an hour, play their pre-recorded set, and then you'd ask them to play an extra couple of records, and they wouldn't have anything left in the bag, and it's a similar concept,
Yeah.
They're meant to be DJs, they're meant to be gurus, they're meant to be giving, but they don't, it's limited.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. The thing about giving is, and several of you have left comments in the chat box here, which I think is super cool. I'll say this to you: if you don't make a plan to give, you won't. If you don't have a plan to go the extra mile, you won't. And so that's why a lot of people don't do it. So artists come and play. Artists come and present whatever they're going to do. And they're like, okay, we're done. And you go, can you do one more thing? And they're, well, no, what do you mean one more thing? That's not in my contract. That's not in my deal. I don't even know what to do. And so it's disappointing behavior. It's disappointing behavior. And I'll say for the 100+ people here listening, talking, joining us today, I'll say, the reality is that life is hard enough without us getting in our own way, right? Isn't that kind of the truth? It's tough enough to be awesome without us doing dumb things that stop us from being amazing. And so I think the discussion about escaping the rat race is really about escaping your own bad.
Yeah. It's the discipline. And would you agree that the consistency? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what other questions can I answer for you? Before I go, I want to take a few more minutes. If you have a question, maybe you can leave it in the section here. Otherwise, I'm just going to start calling people out and ask, who knows?
Yeah, let's
give me a question to everyone. Some of you, this is my first Blab. So I appreciate you roping me into this, Christian. I had an account here, but I hadn't done much with it. But
you and me both.
Pretty neat technology.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, and well done on your 246 high fives. You're rocking it.
High five. There you go. So a couple things to leave you with. If you have a specific question, I will answer it right now on the spot. You won't have to pay me millions and millions of dollars like clients do to solve your problem. I'll do it right now. But I would say this too so we talked about a few things today. One, play the long game. Okay. Play the long game. Number two, find time to get by yourself and just think about what you really want. Right? Think about what you really, really, really want. And then follow that up with your own honest discussion about what you're willing to do to get there. I told Christian I would have something awesome for you. So I've got lots and lots and lots of these are daily planners. If you want one, I will send you one for free. Okay? The strings attached. Send me an email. I'll put my email in here. And I've got lots. I've got like lots. So, lots and lots and lots and lots. So if you send me one, send me your address. I'll send you one. And on the front, it's a daily organizer for extraordinary. What is that? Potential.
Yeah.
And then on the back, we have the 4 qualities we talk about today. Comes down to doing these 4 things. If you're going to be successful and escape the rat race, 4 things: try more, live fit, give first, and heal others.
Thank you, Dan. That's awesome.
Yep. I'm pleased to do it. And I'm pleased at what you're doing. Is this open to UK people? Absolutely not. No, just kidding. Got you. You thought I was going to be that guy, didn't you? But of course it is, my dear. We will send it to you, Janet. Anywhere you are, we will have somebody track you down. Well, that sounded creepy, so sorry. But yes, we'll get you one. Wonderful, wonderful.
Cool. Daisy's just thrown in a question there, Dan, about what the best way to motivate a team for the long game, building a team in the financial services industry there.
So I would say one of the things you can do is use some sort of, let me show you something right here. Use some sort of objects to keep people motivated. Let me just go here, pull something up here. So for my client, for anyone who joins our team in sales, we give them this on the day they join us. So as you can see here, this is heavy, right? So this is This is real iron, leather, hand engraved. And of course, you can see it a little bit right here. And let me try to see so the light's not bouncing. You can see the engraving right here. And what says you
Sure.
can't.
What does that say?
You can't see it. It says, if you're not all in, you're not in at all. And it has their name and the date. And so this, this is something everyone gets, right? And they get it until they leave. And when they leave, they got to give it back. But sort of thing. This is the sword from 300, the Spartans. That it kind of symbolizes that whole thing. And so it's funny is you'll go to meetings and people will be like this. All right, what are we doing? And people are antsy and fidgety and stuff like that. But that sets the tone. It's that we're not building a sales team. What are we doing? We're going to battle. Because that's really what it is anyways. It's a battle. And so let's not pretend like we're just doing sales. We're battling. And I think that sets the message and the tone for what you're trying to do. And by the way, Daisy, let me also say one other thing. You're not looking for people who can sell. You're looking for people who can battle. Battle when they're tired, battle when they're having a bad day, battle when they don't feel like battling. So you find those people. You know how you do it? You do it with this. So, we used to give, put that right back here, put that there. We used to give away, of course, gloves, things like that, wherever it is.
Yeah.
But, I think, and of course you see behind me, we've got Rocky, we've got, all kinds of motivational stuff here behind us, that encourages us to stay motivated and motivated to get to where we want to be. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that people stay motivated. It's not an accident. I got to tell you, every day I'm running, I look down and I see this on my arm. I've got another one on the inside of my arm. I've got this arm done. Listen, every time I look down when I'm running and I see it says burn the ships, right? I see the burn the ships. I burn the fucking ships is what I do when I'm running. That's what I do. I lay it out. Why? Because it's permanent. It's in my face, right? Burn the ships. So a lot of times we don't surround ourselves with things like that encourage us to be awesome. And then we go, why aren't I awesome? Why am I so unlucky? You're not unlucky. You're just not as committed as you need to be. And that's what we're talking about here. If you want to change your life, serious about it right now. And you got to live a life surrounding yourself with reminders that tell you what's important. Oh, yeah, we've got another one, too. This is cool, too. This is the mini version of that other version. See that? That's what you call Damascus steel.
I've lost the video on you there for once. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look at that.
Now you can see it?
It's just coming back. I think everyone else can, so...
Everyone else can. So this one's a little smaller. We give this out to clients sometimes. This one's actually sharper too. Anyways.
That's awesome. So Daisy, I think we want an update from you, and we're going to see what you go out and purchase, and you share that with us. Let us know.
I used to give out battle axes too. That's a really cool thing too. Think about that, Daisy. Instead of swords, battle axes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we're probably close to wrapping things up, Dan. You've given us all a hell of a lot to really think about there. And it feels like, this is just the beginning. We're really getting people inspired here and understanding that they need to take action on a big, massive, awesome level. And you inspire people to do that every day, I know. And I know all the members of our group, as I've said, they're supercharged. They're definitely up for this. And I think everything that you've added into the equation tonight is stuff that we're going to hold each other accountable to. And we'll keep this journey going.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'd love to come back and visit with you guys again and hear how it's going. And especially, look, it's nice to say hoorah here while we're all, everything's wonderful, right? But I want to talk to you guys when you're hitting a roadblock and it feels like, oh crap, now. And so I think that's the time that I want to talk to you guys again and say, let's work through these challenges. And Christian, I know you're doing this hands-on every day, so I applaud what you're doing. But there's days where it gets really dark out, right? There's days where you're not sure you can make it. And those are the days when you have to figure out what really wakes me up in the morning, right? What am I willing to do? And that's where these little mementos you leave for yourself all around your home and your work and your community really make a big difference. And by the way, Laura, if you go to, let me just find the URL here really quick. Sorry, I'll make it very quick. You go to, there are a bunch, I think there is a cool Burn the Ships wallpaper we created. So there is a bunch of free stuff, and let me see it. The hamsters are turning. There is a bunch of, let me just type it into the window here. I'll give you all of this for free. You're going to send me your email. And you're going to go to that link and download all the free stuff you can.
Awesome. One word, awesome.
Oh, it is? Your poster's on my sales team? Oh, which one? This one? Yes. This one's also cool too. And let me unplug this one. I like that one too.
Oh,
wait, how do I get it up there?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Anyways,
cool.
All right. I put all this stuff up just to keep me motivated, you know? Sometimes you just want to punch life in the face. So good times. All right. I love it. Thank you for the time, Christian. Thanks to all of you. You're going to send me an email. I'm going to send you scheduling. Whoops, I'm dropping them here. Scheduling madness, right? Wherever you are, right? If you're committed to kickassery, we're there to help you.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Dan. I know that everyone will really appreciate that. Everyone else, stay connected. We've got to escape the rat race. Just hook up with us on Twitter and Facebook. This is just the beginning. We've just discovered Blab, so we're going to be doing tons more of these really cool conversations. And, I'm pretty sure we'll have Dan back in the future. And as I say, thanks for joining, everyone. It's been great. And thanks so much for your time again, Dan.
Hey, thank you. And keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll speak to you all soon. Take care.
Is there outtakes to this? It feels like there should be
we'll get
outtakes.
Some. We've got it on record, so we'll do a best of.
Is there a way to stumble like out the room or something? All right. Hey, listen, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. But that was awesome.
Yeah, no worries,
what a great community
no worries,
you're
Dan.
building. Okay.
Yeah, have a great day.
Okay. See you guys.
Take care, man. Bye. Bye, everyone.